the ACC title game. It's Virginia and it's Duke. Yep, it's Duke. All right, Virginia, 3-point favorite according to BetMGM. Virginia, you win and you're in. It's like that LeBron meme. Can't believe this is my life. The Who's, man, after knocking off Florida State early on in the college football season on that Friday night, have walked the tightrope, playing 17 overtime games, taking Chapel Hill to the 1-yard line overtime, goes to review. Virginia and Chandler Morris are there standing at the end of the Hunger Games that has been the ACC this year. Win and you're in. Pretty straightforward. Nothing else needs to be said other than that. Now for Duke, let's be honest, I don't know what happens for you if you win this game. I really don't. My gut says if Duke is your ACC champ, I don't believe they would be ranked higher than a JMU or a Tulane should those teams both win their respective conferences. So I think what you're living in there is probably 2 G5 teams in the college football playoff. Because the verbiage, and this is not to go too far off the rails here, we're still going to break this game down. The verbiage of the college football playoffs committee, auto bids is not, okay, we got 4 bids for the 4 power conferences and 1 bid for the G5. That's not how it works. It's the 5 highest ranked conference champions. So if Duke is a conference champ and ranked below those other 2 conference champions, they're not getting in. But hear me clearly. If you win your conference, life is just better. The water pressure on your shower is better. Your coffee is hotter. People are nicer to you. Your mom loves you more. Like, life is better if you just win your conference. Also, let's say this too. It is a preseason goal for you to win the ACC. If you're Manny Diaz and you're trying to build Duke into a powerhouse out there in the ACC, you get to go take the recruiting pitch of, we just won the conference last year. We need you here to help us do it again. Darius Mensah's coming back for another year. He had a ridiculous season. Like, all those things are on the table if you can win the conference and have that labeling behind you, that momentum behind you, and then we'll let the college football playoff chips fall where they may if I'm Manny Diaz and the Duke Blue Devils. Matchup for me if I'm Duke, it lies on the perimeter. Because, y'all, this game was played in mid-November, right around 2 weeks ago, with 34-17 Who's in Durham. Big reason why, Darius Mensah did not have a big day at the office, and Virginia ran all over them. More on that in a second. But when you look at who Duke is as an offense, they're a 54% of the time throw the football team. They have not 1, not 2, not 3. They have 5 different individuals that average over 12 yards a catch on their roster. Cooper Barkay, a Harvard transfer, Ivy League stand-up, having a freaking season, man, almost 1,000 yards through the receiving at this point in time. And Darius Mensah right around 3,500 yards through the air, 28 touchdowns, 4 picks. The bottom line, that's where your strength is. Okay, you could try to mess around and run the football. You ran the ball for like 42 yards against Virginia the first time you played them. I don't love that whole formula. If you want to have that be your approach here against Virginia the second time around, be my guest. You have got to have something, if you're Duke, to keep Virginia honest up front. Because if they can just play light box, focus on your receivers that I just told you about, focus on Mensah in the pass game, I don't think you win this game. I think it's probably a rerun of what you saw the first time around. I just need something to keep them occupied in the run game. Just something to where play action still matters. And we're not just dropping back and asking Darius Mensah to go win the football game for us. I don't love that situation if that's where you live if you're Duke. So I just need something early. I don't need it all game. I just need something early to get us going if we're the Duke Blue Devils. Now, I say that. I still don't feel good about Duke's defense against Virginia. We talked about Virginia early on in the year, heading into the Florida State game, if y'all remember that breakdown. They are so elite at straining your personnel by playing 2 tight ends. Because if you're a defense, you see 2 tight ends out there, instead of a couple of receivers, you say, okay, got some big bodies on the field, they're probably going to run the football. And while Virginia does run the football at a really high level, all of their tight ends they play, from what I've seen, are pretty good threats in the pass game as well. So they have this flex of, you have to honor us with the look that we're going to run the football because of the big bodies we got out here. But also, Chandler Morris and these tight ends, it's nothing for us to go play action and challenge you vertically either, and we can do that at a really high level. So you look at how Duke played them the first time, allowed over 200 yards on the ground. And here's the thing, y'all. Like sometimes the box score isn't always indicative of how the game went. You say Virginia ran for 200 yards. Well, do they have a couple gash plays that sort of just equated to them having 200 yards? Was it a deceiving 200 yards on the ground if that even exists? My answer is no. It was not a tricky 200 yards. It was not a tricky 34-17. Y'all, to keep it a buck, Duke got a pick 6 on a screen play that was like less than 20 yards that counted for one of their 2 touchdowns on the day. Like it was not a a tricky 34-17 or a deceptive 200 yards on the ground. It was, we're more physical than you. You can't hang with us. Here we go. And so the path here for Duke requires some turnovers, and that's kind of the thing I want to side-eye here if I'm a Virginia fan. Chandler Morris has been a dog for you. The UNT transfer, he's been awesome all year long. He's brought juice to the offense. He's been great on the ground, been great through the air. However, my guy likes to cut it loose. Okay, he's got a little bit of that gunslinger to him. 14 touchdowns with 7 picks. He threw 2 picks the last time y'all played. That is when you played Duke 2 weeks ago. If you're going to be a live-by-the-sword kind of team with Chandler Morris, you also are potentially exposed to be a die-by-the-sword kind of team with what he likes to do, throwing the football around the yard. So if you're Duke, maybe you'd be a little bit opportunistic. Maybe Manny Diaz and the guys get a little bit aggressive. I'll be real. This line confuses me. When you beat them by 17 the last time you played and you're only favored by 3 points, and the last time you played it was in Durham. It wasn't like you played a neutral site or you played in Charlottesville. It was like, no, you beat them at their place pretty handily. And Vegas still is only giving Virginia 3 points. I'm looking for something to feel different about this game. I'm looking for something to make me see why that line is what it is. And maybe it's just the fact that Duke's played well the last couple of weeks, I suppose. Maybe this line is what it is because Duke just beat Wake pretty handily. I guess I would hear that. Looking at this game, though, here's the biggest thing. Virginia got after Darian Mensah, and they did it with 4 players. It wasn't like they brought exotic blitzes. It wasn't like they were super complex with how they applied pressure. They just rushed 4, got home a lot to the tune of 4 sacks. That plus what Virginia has been through the air and what Duke isn't on the back end, one of the worst secondaries in college football by the numbers. Maybe we see a scrappy Duke performance. Maybe Darian Mensah just puts on the cape and says, this is who we are. We're going to go find a way to get it done. Take your line and do whatever you want with it. We're going to win this game. Maybe that's the way it goes. That would shock me. And so I'm not really big into picking things that would shock me. I'll take Virginia to win. I'll take Virginia to cover. I think it's slightly closer than the last time they played. I'll take Virginia 31-21. And Virginia is your ACC champ. We love the G5 on this show. But unfortunately, there will only be one G5 team in this college football playoff. Virginia slams the door shut on that possibility by winning the ACC.